Okay. The best part of camping is what will you eat? On a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with bringing food on a camping trip? Like I said at the beginning, the food stumps people with camping. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on food. And I've got a food pyramid. Dry food doesn't require any cooking. It's the simplest for you to bring. It doesn't require any refrigeration. This is going to be things like packets of tuna or chicken or nuts or fruit, dried fruits, even. Your food confidence varies based on the type of camping that you're doing. And part of it is because of equipment, which is what we're going to talk about here. A camping food guide that has a bunch of examples of different types of food that you can bring based on all of these different levels. So one thing that I like is the bracho beans from HEB. And I eat them cold, so I would consider that the dry food because I'll just open that can of beans and I can eat them out of the can. Or you can cook them when we get to the later stage when we're building a fire, So any kind of bars, nutritional bars, or just anything really that doesn't require cooking. Okay, then you can step it up and you can bring a cooler. Now this opens up your options because now you can bring yogurt, you can make overnight oats and throw them into the cooler, then they're ready to go. You can have sandwiches. Sandwiches are super easy to do. So now it's anything that you can eat straight out of the cooler that doesn't require cooking. In the basics of cooking, you can do something as simple as a one burner stove. So the Coleman makes a great one burner stove that uses the propane tanks. You can get the small green propane tanks, or if you don't want to have to throw those away, you can get an adapter that will go to a regular size propane tank. So you have some options with that. And then if you want to up it a little bit more, I spelled burners wrong, but you can get a 2-burner stove or a 3-burner stove that is tall so you don't have to bend over or use a separate table, or you can get one of those Blackstones. And oh yes, when you upgrade to this new level, then you can also have coffee in the morning. But if you have a cooler, you can do those cold coffee drinks. I do those a lot on camping trips just because they're easy. And I actually like cold coffee anyway. You can get the Starbucks or the High Brew is from Texas. If you haven't had it, their canned coffee is really good. And you can just throw those in the cooler and call it a day. Okay. Then you can upgrade to a barbecue grill or a smoker. Some people bring these with them, and then depending on which kind of campsite that you get, sometimes they have a grill there where you can use charcoal and wood and cook your food at the campsite. One thing you do need to watch out for if you do plan to use a grill of any kind is watching out for burn bans. So sometimes there's a burn ban and you can't have any kind of fire, charcoal, or wood, but they will sometimes still allow you to have propane if there's a burn ban. So you just need to check the websites before you go. Okay. And then kind of the cream of the crop, I think, is the Dutch oven cooking or the campfire cooking, where you're on top of the campfire that you built for the night. So now you need to have fire making skills, and you can make famous brownies. We have Dutch oven brownies that are infamous throughout the clubs. So you can really start making some camping friends when you pull out the Dutch oven cooking. Okay. Now, the other thing to consider if you're thinking about any kind of food that needs to be cooked is the weather, because if it's storming, if it ends up storming when you need to be cooking, are you going to be able to cook? Because you're not going to be able to bring those things inside your tent. Okay. Please don't try. You will melt your tents. We don't want anybody catching on fire. plus the gases and stuff. You have to be outside for these things. So just keep weather in mind also when you're planning your meals, and maybe have some food that doesn't require cooking just as a backup. Okay, so which type of cooking do you aspire to? These are all from camping trips that I've done. This is all food that I've made on different camping trips. We've got the Dutch oven cooking over the campfire. When you do the brownies, you have the charcoal and you put the charcoal on top of the lid and also on the bottom. Fried rice, as simple as sandwiches and salad. This charcuterie board of deli meat, deli meat and deli cheeses. Very fancy, very fancy. My famous burgers that are stuffed with bacon and cheese and jalapenos. And then the smoker, I brought that smoker on our Eclipse trip that we went on, and I grilled chicken and then smoked a bunch of pork butts and made pulled pork. So that was a 14-hour pulled pork we will talk about again today. And then just like simple breakfasts like eggs and bacon and potatoes with onions and peppers and stuff. So which do you want to be able to get to the Dutch oven cooking? We actually did do a Dutch oven 101 class at Academy a while back. I'll have to look up that video and share it again. It's been a while since I pulled that one out. And then during COVID, I did some camping videos in my backyard. I set up my kitchen in my backyard and did some more Dutch oven. And it's going to depend on what kind of camping you're doing. And some of this stuff takes time. So what are you camping for? I like to hang out sometimes and just relax at the campsite. If I have a campsite that has a really good view, I just kind of want to hang out and enjoy the view, have fun. So I don't mind being near the smoker all day to make some really good food. But then other times, like when we're in Big Bend, we still do a lot of cooking in Big Bend and we have good food, but I prep the food before we go. So like I'll smoke the pork before we get there. And then that way we just have to reheat it, because in Big Bend, I want to do the hikes with the elevation that you're out all day, you're away from the campsite, and then you just relax at night. So it's going to vary. When we go camping with HTX Outdoors and Bayou City Outdoors, the camping trips that I lead are usually I bring all of the food and then we do a community camp cooking. So everybody helps either cook or clean. So the people who don't care about learning how to cook anything, they usually just sign up for cleanup duty. And so then you learn how to do the Dutch oven cooking. You can learn how to just cook different things. The more you mix things, the more they break down and then your food becomes mushy and stuff like that. So just cooking tips in general, like all cooking tips are welcome. And so you'll even just learn little things that you can take back to your kitchen. And then, of course, when you're on the camping trips, regardless of if you want to help cook or not, then you will get more ideas on what types of things you can make while you're cooking. Okay. And then we also have some trips that are DIY where you just bring your own. Okay. What has been the most valuable to you so far today that we've talked about? Is there anything that we discussed that you're like, oh, that's, super helpful? So are you ready to go camping?